Hey guys, what's up? It's Ashley here, and I just wanted to do a brief video on how someone should grow up. I'm just gonna sit down. I always think I'm gonna stand, sometimes I don't know. How someone should grow up being blind. I think this is perfect because I'm literally filming and I can't really see anything. So hopefully you can actually see me, which I think you can. But anyway, yeah. So I'm filming with my Pixel 3 phone, and that is how we are vlogging now, because it's just easier. And yeah, sometimes clips get a little in the videos again, but we're just gonna pretend like that's supposed to happen. Actually, in some cases it is, so I can't really say that. So anyways, I have an eye condition called retinopathy of prematurity, and I was born about a month early. And so basically, I can only see like light and shadows. I can see like objects, but I don't see any detail, and so I can see a little better out of my right eye. So if I'm looking diagonal, then I can see. I do have glasses. I don't wear them all the time because I wear hearing aids, and they kind of get in the way. But I do wear them when I leave the house, or as much as I possibly can. I really try to wear them more often than not. But anyway. Yeah, we'll fix that little thing. It's not really a problem, but anyway, okay. So growing up, so some of you might agree with this, some of you might disagree with this, and some of you might take away some things, and some of you might agree and disagree with some of the things that I have to say. So basically, first, as a very young blind child, maybe a toddler size, or elementary, when you're teaching your blind child to find objects, whether it's inside or outside. We're just going to talk about someone who is, sorry, my voice is messed up because I'm getting over a cold. So basically a child who let's just say someone like me who can't see. So I've heard of people do this before where their child is outside. And don't take this critical. Again, this is just like my take on it. My take on it, y'all. It's the beauty of YouTube. You don't have to like it. My take on it. Okay. Sorry. So your child's outside and they don't know that there's a tree ahead of them. I've seen the technique where parents or people will let them run into it and fall down, and they will say, oh, well, then they'll know it's there, so kids are gonna fall and all this kind of stuff. Guys, that hurts my heart. Literally, it does. I think in certain situations that's okay, like if they're trying to find a toy or something and you've been practicing with them on this for a while, then I don't see a problem with it. On the same token, I don't think it should happen every time. I don't think, especially the first time, if they don't know it's there, because most people are like, or not most people, some people are like, oh, well, when they find it, then they'll know it's there. Easy for you to say because you're not blind. One thing that people really, I find, one of my frustrations is that people think, sorry, people think that once you find something, you'll remember it's there. Let me ask you something. For those of you who can see, do you always know when something is there? Like, do you ever forget? I mean, just because you can see it doesn't mean you can't forget it's there, Do you ever lose your keys? Do you ever lose anything? Yeah, well, blind people do the same. And it has nothing to do with, well, I can't say it has nothing to do with being able to see because I can't really look around and be like, what did I do with this or that? But on the same token, like, you can't just be like, oh, well, you're blind, so you need to learn the hard way. I just don't think that's fair. Again, everyone has their own ways of doing things, and that's totally cool. But if I had a blind child, I can't let them run into a tree without visually telling them it's there first. I feel like it's only fair to visually tell your child, hey, there's a swing set here, or hey, there is a chair here, or hey, there's a table, or hey, this is where I'm putting your toys, or hey, there's a tree, don't, it's it's going to come up closely, put your hands out so you don't hit your head on it. And I've heard people say, well, I don't worry about it. If they fall and, whatever, you guys, I'm sorry, it irks me. It irks me because I think that other children that walk out, yes, they're going to fall. Yes, they're going to have bruises. Same for blind children. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, a child who runs into something is because they're not paying attention. Or because, things happen with children. A blind child literally doesn't know something's there. It could have been prevented. So if I can, if I were to have a blind child, I don't want to cause them any extra pain just because they're blind. That's the way I see it, and that's the way I'm always going to see it. Now, with that being said, if they already know it's there over and over again and they happen to fall and scrape their knee like children do and stuff, it's okay. Then I'm not like, oh, that shouldn't have happened. Things do happen. Children play together. Children fall. I'm not going to, I wouldn't be one of those people who protects my blind child from things that they can learn, but I will protect them from things that I feel are important that maybe they don't know yet. And then once they know it, then they're on their own. Not really, but so to speak. So I think, and then I think growing up, they should be able to, make their own decisions. But I do think it's helpful to have other people around you to help make those decisions. Because when you're blind, and I'm not throwing the blind card, I'm just being realistic. I'm being realistic about blindness. This is what some people don't want to hear and what they need to hear. Because I feel really strongly about this. Especially as you grow up and, you try to find a job or you try to do things, you always grow up and you always hear, you can do anything that you want to do. Oh, gosh. I love that saying. You can do anything that you want to do. It is true to a point. Like, I'm not saying it's wrong to say that. It's true to a point. But the reality is that's not really true. I'm just being honest. It's not true because once you finish college or finish school or do whatever you need to do, people are afraid to hire blind people. People are afraid. It's like you're 3 years old and they want you to fall into a tree so you know it's there. And then you're 33 and they're like, oh, you can't see, so we can't hire you. Okay, so this is not a hate on like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, on like not hiring blind people. I'm just specifically talking about the reality of being blind and how I feel like things have changed and like how I feel things are, but why it doesn't really make me mad. It used to make me so mad. It really did. It still irks me when I see children fall into trees because nobody tells them they're there just because they're blind. That's not okay with me. Because I think you're taking it to a level of unfairness and, in my eyes, taking advantage of their blindness. Sorry, that's my opinion. But I do think a blind child should grow up to know that they can do things in life. I think that we need to be honest and say, depending on how old they are, depending on what they're ready for, what their level is, everyone has a different situation. But I think it is really, really good to be honest with them, if you can. And just say, hey, because the first time, literally, my mom was like, you can do anything you want to do. I was like, no, I can't drive. And she was like, well, yeah, that's true. So one day there will be like driverless cars, and I don't know what kind of driver I'd be. I always wonder. But I think it's really important to just be honest and say, there are certain things that blind people physically are limited on doing. But that doesn't mean that blind people can't do anything. And it doesn't mean that we can't work around our situations. We live, and I'm going to even say this for visually impaired people too, because legally blind people, they face the same challenges. We all face them together, so I don't want to just like leave them out because legally blind people and blind people, and there is a difference. Talk about that later, but there is a difference. We face the same challenges just in a different way. And so, like, people are quick to say, oh, you're lazy, or oh, you don't want a job, or oh, you're not trying hard enough. You don't know until you've been in someone's shoes who's blind. You do not know that. Um, you know, I'm in between. I don't want to hear, like, oh, you don't want to do this, but I also don't want to hear, you can't do this. Like, you can't do anything, because it's not true. So just know, like, if you're blind, you do have a purpose. You can do anything that you choose to do in a certain way. I just put my foot in my mouth because I didn't mean to. Sorry, my arm is killing me. You do have a purpose in life, and like, gosh, I am so sorry. And just try to like not be down. You need to be around those who make you happy, who lift you up, who, you know, let you know that you are capable of doing things, but if you need help, it is okay. It is okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need help. Being blind is awesome, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else, ever. So, that's my take on it. See you on the next video. Click. Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, share, all the things. Bye.